I didn't feel like bringing my large camera because I have to set it up and all that stuff. And the weather is not really cooperating, so I thought I'll just use my phone, uh, Pixel 2 XL. It works fine. Could be better, could be worse, could be a lot worse, could be a potato. Anyways, so been working on the brakes. The rear brakes are finished, not bad, but all together. So let me show you. So the rear brakes are done, and this was actually much better than the previous setup I had, which using the original car calipers and just using the bigger disc. So let me show you. I don't know if you can see. So I made this nice, beautiful green part. So that's a new part I got fabricated because I tried making it. It's kind of hard to do it here. It takes a lot of time. So I just had it made. The disc lines up with the bracket very nicely. I think it's only like off by half a millimeter, or like 1/32. And this is Mazda RX-8 rear setup and the caliper, so it's the same getup. So the RX-8 has a much larger rear piston than the stock caliper, so there's a lot more crimping force, so it brakes harder. And the disc is a little bit smaller, but it is vented, so I should not have any issues with heat. Well, it's rear, so usually there's never any issues with heat. But anyways, so this should balance out the front much better. I do have to reduce the brake pedal pressure for the drivers, because right now with the booster it's set up with the original brakes that what the car came with, which is very tiny compared to what's on it now. So it boosts the pressure way up there. So I need to lower it way down so it's feels better. The other part is I want to buy new bolts for this, so I'm gonna measure those and go from there. Let me see where else. I'm gonna start working on the front, and I'm gonna remove uh, the brake bias proportional valve. I'll show you right now. All right, let me show you the proportional valve. All right, there's the little guy. So that guy distributes and regulates the pressures between the front and the back. So it reduces the pressure in the back typically, proportionally. Now I'm gonna take it out because based on my math, I don't need it. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna buy OEM brake pads for the rear. So if in case that the rear is too strong for the front, I would put the manual proportional valve in so I can adjust. But during the race, that's unlikely to happen. So to compensate, I'm gonna have spare brake pads that are crap to an extent. I'm gonna throw them in the back. It's gonna reduce the braking capacity in the back, and hopefully they'll be good enough. I already forgot what brakes I got for the back, but those are performance brake pads, and I got. I have to look up. I forgot. I will write like here. This is what I got for the rear and for the fronts, so that you know. And it's just basic math to do the balance and stuff like that. So it's not hard. Well, it's hard at first, but once you establish it, how to do it, it's just plug in numbers and good to go. Anyways, I'm gonna get on that, and I'll show you what I'm doing later after it's finished. Because again, I only have my phone, so I'm not gonna. Alright, let me show you what I have done. It is done. Well, few zip ties, but whatever. So this is it, the brake pressure control valve. This little guy here, which is this little guy here. Yes. There you go. So there you go. So that's the valve. There is let's see. there's actual valves inside that thing. Basically, what happens is very simple. This side, based on the book, is the right rear. So right rear, right, left front. Left rear, right front. Well, whatever. It's a cross pattern. So this wheel is connected to that wheel. That wheel is connected to this wheel. And that's I'll make a whole video about that stuff later. But anyways, I took out the valve. Right. And I put a T for the top section and a coupler for the bottom section. And then that's it. It's removed. So I'm testing it without first before I go any deeper. But there you go. This is the brake proportional valve. This is actually for a Mazda Miata kit. Basically the Wilwood standard brake adjuster proportional valve, and little pieces to make it work with the Miata. And made by the same company as this car, Mazda basically, Ford at the time. So the stuff is the same. So all the threads, everything is the same. So it doesn't matter much. So this book actually is very good because it tells you how the valve works. So let me find the page and I'll read it out to you, basically. Alright, so found the page. It was whatever. Anyways, so the way you test that thing, which is actually tells you how it works, is right here. You put one pressure gauge in the front line and one pressure gauge in the rear line. You would bleed the brakes so there's no air, so you can actually measure. Come on, focus. Can you focus? There you go. So the first thing you do is you apply brake pressure with the brake pedal to achieve whether 360 psi for system without ABS or 430 with ABS. Right, simple enough. And then you would read the outlet fluid pressure, which should be between 330 to 390 for non-ABS, without ABS, and with ABS you would have between 400 to 460. Now, I don't know how you're gonna get more than what you're inputting, but whatever. I'm not here to judge. Now, so at this point, basically, whatever the front brake sees is the same as what the rear brake sees. Now, if you look here, now you would do the test further. The next step, you would set the pressure to 850 on the input, and then you would see if it's without ABS, you're gonna see 462 to 548 psi, or with ABS, you're gonna see 507, 593 psi. So that's a drop, significant drop from the front brakes to the rear brakes. See you on the flip side. I'm trying new catchphrases. Let me know if you like it, eh?